it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a different video in celebration of the fact that this is my 300th video to go up on my channel. It's not a particularly significant milestone, but I still think it's a good milestone to get to. 300 videos up on my channel, that's incredible. So I wanted to do something different, like I said, and Mara from Books Like Whoa put a video up on her channel. I think it was for her booktube anniversary. I think she'd been on booktube for 2 or 3 years, and she did a chatty get ready with me, and she just talked about her channel and things like that. So I've totally stolen that idea. I will leave a link to her video down below, and if you aren't subscribed to her channel, I would definitely recommend it. She reads such a wide variety of books, and she just has such interesting things to say about them. So I would definitely check her out if you haven't done already. So that's what I'm going to do basically. So I'm going to talk to you about what I'm doing to my face and talk to you about my channel and booktube while I'm doing that, and hopefully this works out okay. So my hair is wet because I washed it this morning, and my usual routine is to do my makeup before I dry my hair. I could have done it the other way around, but no, I've chosen not to. We'll do it in the normal routine. I have prepped my face with some moisturiser and some serums. So I used Palmer's coconut oil, facial oil as like a bit of a serum to begin with, and then I have used my Decleor Hydrofloral 24-hour hydrating light cream on my face. I love Decleor products, hopefully you can see that, there we go. And then I always put eye cream on in the morning and in the evening. So the one I use is Origin's A Perfect World for Eyes. So this is the one there. Yeah, I think we can see that. So I've prepped my face with that. So the first thing that I'm going to put on is my primer, and I talked about this primer in a favourites video that I did, which I'll link for you. This is the Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. So this is what it looks like. There we go. And yeah, I'll just put a little bit of this on my face before I do anything else. This is a new bottle, so maybe this will take... Here we go. Yeah. And this really is cooling on your skin and on your fingers. It's quite weird to begin with. I haven't used a primer like this before. So it was weird the first time I used it, but I really like it. Yeah, it's a good way of prepping my skin. So yeah, put that on to begin with. There's that. I'm just going to reach over and... Oh, sorry, I should have prepped that earlier. I'd wipe my hands from putting that primer on. Yeah, so I will start talking about booktube in a minute. But before we do that, I'm going to put my foundation on, and I use the Bare Minerals Original Foundation. This is in the shade Fairly Light. I really like this foundation. It's a powder to cream foundation, and I would say it's medium coverage, and I quite like medium coverage because I still like to see a little bit of my skin underneath and my freckles and things like that, because later on when I put powder on and things like that, I felt like before when I was using a full coverage foundation, it was, when you then put powder on, bronzer and things like that, it was then becoming a bit too much. So you just tap a little bit of this out in the lid, and it's not coming out properly. Then this is the brush that comes with it. Well, I think I had to buy it separately. You swirl it round in the lid, and then put it in your face. So I'm really doing a little bit of looking over here because this is my mirror. I'm in my bedroom at the moment, so a bit of a different location. I don't think well, I used to film my Birchbox unboxings in here, but I don't think I filmed much else in my bedroom. So you just have to kind of swirl it around your face like this, and I put it all around, including down my neck, and then also on my eyes to kind of prep them for later on. I don't know whether you can see, but I feel like that's got quite a good coverage to it. But it's not too much, it's just enough. So yeah, so we'll go with that. I don't really use concealer anymore. I used to underneath my eyes, and I still have concealer that I use for when I get bad spots and stuff like that. But when I started using the Bare Minerals and putting it like over my eyes like I've just done, I feel like that does enough to cover up my dark circles and stuff. So we're going to move on to powder, and this is the Maybelline Face Studio setting powder. It's a baking and brightening loose powder. So this is what it looks like here, and this is the best loose powder that I have used. So I'm just going to grab one of my brushes, and this is just a brush that I have used from Primark. And the first thing that I do is put a little bit under my eyes, just to kind of set that and add some extra coverage under there, and the same under here. I'm going to say that I am not a makeup expert at all, so I just put that caveat in there now. I have learnt basically how to do my makeup properly, I would say, from YouTube over the last few years. I've been putting makeup on since I was, I think, 16 or 17, but I really feel like I've learnt how to do it properly from watching YouTube videos. So I didn't even do my own makeup on my wedding day, my sister did it for me. So that's kind of how recently I felt like I've known what I was doing enough to do it. So we should start talking about BookTube. I have like a little list of things on my phone just to kind of prompt me about what I should be talking about. So I want to talk about the growth of my channel first. So I have just over 2,400 subscribers, and I think that's amazing. So I've been on BookTube for 2.5 years now, coming up for 3 years in December. I'm going to put on some bronzer now, and this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So yeah, I started at the very end of December 2016. Is that right? Yeah. And yeah, I feel like just over 2,400 subscribers in that particular time is really, really good. I feel like I'm not one of these channels that has grown an awful lot. I might just turn the lighting down a little bit because it's a bit bright. That's a little bit better. It was like really, really bright. I'm not one of these channels that has grown really, really quickly, and I'm kind of glad about that, because I feel like slower growth means that it's like sustainable over time, if that makes any kind of sense. Yeah, I feel like I can cope with that kind of growth, that it suits me, that kind of idea. I do feel like the growth of my channel has slowed down over the last 6 months, maybe a year, something like that, but I think that's got to do more with YouTube and how they do their formula. What did you call them? I can't even remember. I can't think straight doing this video off the top of my head. I'm going to put a little bit of blusher on now, and this is the Rocketeur blusher from Benefit. Yeah, so I kind of think some of that has meant that my growth has slowed down a little bit, but it is what it is, and I'm not particularly, like I said, bothered about the fact that it slowed down. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Yeah, so yeah, I tried a lot more recently to make sure that I'm replying to comments on YouTube, because that's something that I had slowed down on an awful lot, and I kind of feel like that makes a difference to the way that your channel grows and things like that, if you're interacting with your audience. So I'm going to do some highlighting powder now. This is the L'Oreal highlighting powder palette. I love using this. This is really, really good. I would say for a drugstore highlighter, this is one of the best. This is the best that I've used. Yeah, so yeah, I've got a lot better, I think, at replying to comments and things like that. And I still could do with making sure I'm a bit better at that, a bit more consistent, like replying to them straight away, that sort of idea. But I do think I've upped my game with that, which is good. I do enjoy when people comment on my videos, when they start conversations, excuse me, and yeah, I really, really like interacting with them. I feel like I've got a line here. Let's just, there you go, that's a bit better. So yeah, right, I'm going to work on my eyes a little bit now, and I've moved my dressing table forward in order to do this video, and all of my palettes aren't in the same place, so you just have to bear with me for 1 minute. Okay, I feel like I want to use one of my newer palettes. I used this one for the first time the other day. I included this in my Florida haul, which I will leave a link to if you haven't seen that already. This has got some really pretty colours in it. Yeah, so I could use that, but then I also the other day got the Berry Burst. These are limited edition, sort of smaller ones. So I bought this from a UK website because I wanted the HD one basically when we were abroad, and they'd sold out. And they'd sold out on the UK websites too, so I ended up getting this, which is similar. So I kind of think the colours that are in here are going to suit the more what I'm wearing, maybe in a more neutral look. I mean, I'm wearing blue, which doesn't really suit berry, but we're going to go with it. We're going to see what happens. Yeah, so we'll give that a try. Oh. Yeah. I also wanted to talk a little bit about how I think BookTube has changed over the last couple of years. So when I first joined BookTube, I had been watching it for 6 months, a year, something like that. And when I was first watching it, you got an awful lot of people who talked just about YA. So channels that were dedicated just to YA, and talking about that particular category of books, which is obviously absolutely fine. But I feel like now there are so many more booktubers that are talking about adult books, and if I think about my subscription feed, I don't subscribe to a lot of those channels now that just talked about YA books. A few of them I still do, but yeah, a lot of my subscription feed is now in the adult category. And also the amount of channels that are now dedicated to particular genres of books. So for example, romance, you know, or fantasy, or thrillers. You know, you can find a lot of content now that's very, very specific to what you're interested in reading, and I think that is so good. So yeah, that really excites me, and the amount of romance channels there are right now, because you will have obviously seen lately that my reading tastes have changed an awful lot. I would say in the last year. I wasn't somebody who read a lot of romance before, but now with channels like Sarah from Steeped in Books, and who else reads a lot of romance? Steph from Steph's Romance Book Talk, I think her channel is, and Jess from Peace Love Books. They talk just pretty much exclusively about romance, not all of the time, but pretty much exclusively. And I really feel like I've got so many recommendations from them, and they have sparked my love of romance, basically. What am I going to do here? I think I'm going to take this really bright colour here. I've just done a bit of a base. Maybe if I zoom you in a little bit. Yeah, I've just done a bit of a base. And then, yeah, I'm going to put this really bright colour, I think, on my eyelid. So yeah, I used to read romance, like the Mills and Boon romance, when I was in university, and I don't really know what sparked my interest in it, but yeah. And then I kind of got out of it when I went to work, and yeah, it's obviously these channels that have sparked my interest in it again, and I am really enjoying getting back into that particular category of books. Yeah, I'm just having a really good time rediscovering it, basically. So that's one layer. So you can see, I think I'm going to darken it up a little bit, put a bit more on. Oh, there we go. There's a bit more colour payoff. Build it up. So yeah, really enjoyed getting back into that genre. I have so many books on my Kindle TBR, and so many books on my wish list from the romance category, and every time I think of picking up a book, it's normally a romance book that is going to inspire me more than any other category of books, which makes me think that I should actually be buying them physically. But the thing about buying romance books physically is you can get the Mills and Boon category romances pretty easily, but you know, if I wanted to pick up a copy of The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, or The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, it would be a bit more difficult for me to find those books in a traditional bookshop, as it were. So that's a bit of a shame, and it's something that I think the book industry should look into, because I read an article on Publishers Weekly this week that said that romance sales at Barnes & Noble were up by 31% over the last year, which I think is incredible. So I think booksellers definitely need to be paying a bit more attention to what people, to that and, you know, getting some more romance authors in the bookstore. I'm going to put, darken it up a little bit. I'm going to put this colour on the corner, these two colours here on the corner of my eye, to kind of smoke it out a little bit. Yeah, so I think also the fact that my reading tastes have changed has also got something to do with the fact that the growth of my channel has slowed down a little bit, because obviously people come to you for a particular thing, and then when you're reading other things and not that thing that they've come to you for, it can be a little bit confusing, and I totally get that. So I think that's got something to do with it as well. But so this, I kind of feel like, is a bit of a transition period for me. I'm not gonna not read any other books. You've seen from my channel that I read a lot of non-fiction. I read loads of different categories of books. I put my TBR up for Thriller-a-thon. It's a Thriller-a-thon this week. And you know, I do love reading other books as well, and I will continue to read those, but you will also see some romance books in my wrap-ups and my book hauls as well. That's darkened it up a little bit. I always feel like I darken it up on this side much more than I do this side. I don't know whether it's the shadows that are making it seem like that. Anyway, bit of the brown now. This is the very outer edge. There we go. Yeah, so I've kind of lost my train of thought now. Let's go back to my notes. What was I talking about? What do I see? Okay, so I've also made a note here about where I see my channel going. It was interesting because I watched a video from Heather at Bookables yesterday, and she was talking about different things that you can do to grow your channel. One of the things that she was talking about is that you should just make the content that you are passionate about, and people will be excited about it because you're passionate about it. And even if, you know, some of your subscribers aren't or whatever, you know, it's your channel. You do what you want, and I think I've definitely learned that lesson over the last 6 months or so. You know, I've experimented with doing different things. You know, some things have worked and some things haven't. Sorry, I think I keep the tripod there. And you know, I'm doing things that I am interested in filming, and I think that really makes a difference. Let's see what this is looking like. Yeah, what do you guys think? It's not too bad. I think I'm going to take one of these glitter colours, maybe this one here, and I'm going to put it in the very centre of my eyelid. I'm just going to use my fingertip basically. Here we go. So I'm going to continue making the videos that I am excited about, because I feel like that passion that people have really comes across. You know, if you're actually passionate about what you're talking about. I kind of know what I mean. I think you guys do too. So yeah, but I also, you know, I'm open to ideas from you guys on what you want to see. So I was thinking about, and I've mentioned this briefly on my channel before, thinking about doing a feedback form and leaving it as like a open feature in my description box, so you guys can basically feedback to me in a bit more of a anonymous or formal way what you think, what your ideas are, what you think of what I'm doing, that sort of idea. So I think I'm going to set that up before I go back to work, which I've got 2 weeks left off of work. Yeah. Well, that looks really pretty. I like that. And I'm just going to run a little bit underneath my eyes. So I'm going to take the berry colour, the darker berry colour, and just run a little bit under my eye. There we go. So yeah, I'm just having fun playing around with different things, you know, and being part of the community and connecting with people, and you know, talking to other booktubers, and you know, taking part in readathons and stuff like that. I'm just really enjoying being part of that particular process basically. This video is going to be super long, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to add a little bit of brown under there as well, just to kind of smoke it out a little bit. There we go. There was a little bit of fallout from that, but whatever. Let's get rid of the goop that's in my eyes. There we go, that's a bit better. And I think what I'm going to do is just take my little finger again, and this lighter sparkly shade, and just put it in the inner corner. There we go. That looks really pretty, I think. I like that. I'm going to do a little bit of blending, just to make sure this is not quite as harsh looking. pretty happy with that. Okay, so there we go, that's that. So I'm going to put on some mascara now, which I'm not sure how this is going to work with talking to you guys on camera, but we'll give it a go. I did recently, before I went on holiday, I had a lash lifting tint done, which I was really happy with, but I feel like when I wear darker eye makeup like this, and we are going out for dinner later, that it warrants me putting mascara on as well, because you can still see my lashes, but yeah, I want a bit more drama basically, so I don't have to bother curling them, which is good. But there we go. So I'm going to continue making my regular kind of content, so I've gone back to doing my monthly wrap-ups. I'm really pleased with that decision. I think that suits me an awful lot better than doing the weekly ones, just because I don't always finish a book in any given week, and I kind of felt like I was doing a lot of repeating myself on my weekly wrap-ups. So the monthly wrap-ups are definitely working for me. Obviously I've got my usual book hauls and stuff like that. I'm not doing my monthly TBRs, haven't done those in quite some time. And that, again, that suits me. I like to just go with it, as it were, as to what I'm reading during the month. I do TBRs for readathons, but that's different, obviously, that's to meet challenges. So yeah, and obviously you've got the thriller-a-thon happening this week, so hopefully this video, I think, is going up on Friday, so hopefully I'll have read some good thrillers so far during the week. But we are going to the Isle of Wight next week to visit Stefan's mum and dad, and his sister and her family are over there as well, so we are going to have this awful lot of family stuff going on, so I don't think I'm going to get epic load of reading done, but we'll see. There's the car journey, there's the evenings before I go to bed, that sort of idea, so we'll see. Yeah, and then obviously I've got lots of other things. So I like doing book tags, I like doing recommendations videos, that sort of idea. So what's really been helping me out is that I got into a bit of a slump just before we went away, in terms of I just didn't know what to film, and I was kind of getting around to Saturday, which is my normal filming day, and being a bit like, this is the Bad Girl Bang mascara, by the way, by Benefit. I have talked about it on my channel before. And being a bit like, well, I have no idea, I'm completely uninspired. So I put together a video schedule for myself, in which I've scheduled out, you know, 2 videos a week, sometimes 3, and I think I've scheduled all the way until the middle of October or something like that. So I'm feeling really, really good about it, and it's not set in stone, you know, I can mix things around and stuff like that. So for example, this weekend is the Create Your Own Readathon that Sarah from Steeped in Books hosts every month, and I'd completely forgotten about that, and so I figured, oh, this would be a really good weekend to do a reading vlog. So I kind of did a bit of jiggling around and put it on my video schedule. Basically, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I don't do an awful lot to my eyebrows. I've had a couple of people make comments about the fact that my eyebrows are a lot darker than my hair, and that's true, because my natural hair colour is not blonde, in case you can't tell. But I'm not about to go and dye my eyebrows. I'm not sure that there are many people who actually do that. So just have a little sip of tea. My camera's doing something weird. It stopped recording. So I'm hoping all of that was on there. It's going to be really annoying if it wasn't. Anyway, so I was saying that some people have commented on the fact that my eyebrows are a lot darker than my hair, and they don't think it looks particularly nice. Well, you know, I could dye my eyebrows, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not sure that there are many people who dye their eyebrows. And I quite like the fact that my eyebrows are dark and my hair is blonde. I think it looks nice. Each to their own, obviously. So yeah, I'm just filling in my eyebrows with Maybelline Brow Satin. And I don't do much to them. I just do a little bit of filling in on the sparser areas, basically. My eyebrows are not looking their best at the moment. they're in a bit of a transition period. Can't quite have them waxed yet. But they're at that stage where they're starting to need it. But whatever. Yeah. So after my camera did that, I completely lost my train of thought. So yeah, I think I was just talking about content that I have up on my channel and how I'm quite pleased with how it's going, basically. So that is my face done, basically. I've got a little bit of mascara up here. Let's get rid of that. There we go. That's better. So we're going to do a little bit of setting spray, and I currently use the e.l.f. Illuminating Mist and Set. So that's what it looks like. It's like £5 or £6 a bottle, and it suits me at the moment. So yeah, I do really like the Urban Decay one, but it's quite expensive for me to buy like every 6 weeks or something. So I'm just sticking to this one at the moment. And when I'm in the house during the day, I don't need my makeup. You know, my makeup's not going to go anywhere during the day anyway. So here we go. There we go. And then that leaves lips. And I think what I'm going to put on today is, yeah, this is my MAC lipstick in Velvet Teddy. This is my like go-to brownie nudie shade. I think that looks really pretty. So I'm going to go and wash my hands and dry my hair, and I'll come back and talk to you in a second. So there you go, guys, so that's me done. I've done my hair. It was pretty much dry anyway, so it only took me about 5 minutes to make sure I'm fully dry and brushed through. So that is the that's the video, basically. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a bit of a longer video from me, but sometimes they're quite nice to watch. I like having longer videos in the background while I'm doing something like, you know, eating or doing my makeup or lots of other bits and pieces. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below about anything that you want to chat about down there, you know, especially all of the stuff that I talked about to do with BookTube, but anything and everything as always. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.